Alright, so this is a introduction video to the Xperience program. So let's go over what this program actually does, right? So this program was designed to allow a group of users to code web applications, websites, and games with HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript languages. Excuse me. So one of my main concerns when trying to get more people to participate in this was that, for one, they needed a laptop, right? Laptop was a huge deal. If they didn't have a laptop, they pretty much weren't going to learn how to code. Right? Another one was that I was unable to show them and actually work with them with code in real time. It's pretty much go learn on your own, come back when you know, and that's pretty inefficient, and it's not a very good way of somebody learning, right? Because it's very abstract. If you're just reading it, it's difficult to imagine what's going on the screen without actually running the code, right? And yeah, so this is there to address both those problems, right? So how does this program work? We're gonna actually go in and do all this stuff. I'm not gonna scroll through this, but so when you first come in here, there's a username that you got to enter, right? Now when you put your username in, it creates files for you to save your code in. You need to start your username with a letter, and it can have letters and numbers in it, but no spaces, okay? And you need to use that username every time to get access to those files. So let's click enter. This is the mobile version, which I'm going to show, actually go over with you guys with. So let's just start with going over the buttons, right? Log out, pretty self-explanatory. This is the hide button. Simply hides and shows the options bar up here. We have a chat box right here. Pretty easy. Type whatever, click enter or press send, and it'll pull it up eventually. It has a 2-second interval for when it checks the log, so sometimes it'll take 2 full seconds for your message to pop up, but it is there. Okay, so here's this yellow button. What this yellow button does is actually tells you what section you're in, right? We have 3 sections on this application. We have the chat box right here, we have the code box, and then we have the simulator, right? So let's go over the code box. We have this private button. Now what this private button does is, this is the scope. So when I told you we made files, or when you enter username it makes files for you, it makes a set of private files that are just yours, and you modify them. You can do what you want with them. You can test stuff out with them. You don't have to worry about ruining anybody else's code. If you click that button, it switches to global. Now this is the file that everybody can see and everybody can read, right? So with this file was where we'll make websites and web applications and games and stuff like that, and everybody can see this, everybody can change it, everybody can participate in it. So we have this second button here, right, which is HTML. Now with this button, you click it and it switches between HTML, CSS, and JS, which is short for JavaScript. So we use this button to organize the code, right? So when we're in HTML, this is all HTML code. You click it, go to CSS, that's all CSS code. Click it again, it's JavaScript, all JavaScript code, right? When applications are only like 100 lines long, it's not really important to have it all separated. When we start getting to 500 plus, 2,000 lines of code, you're going to want to separate the code, because it's going to be difficult to be scrolling through. Let's say we want to modify child 3. We'd have to come here, go down until we find this CSS code for it, and then modify it, scroll back up. Oh, did we forget the ID? This way we can just click it, bam, go to child 3, and we see it right there, right? Child 3, child 3, and if we had JavaScript code with it, child 3 right here too, we could see it really easily. And each one of these global and private scope files has these. So it keeps it nice and organized. We don't have to worry about everything being messy. So the next thing is this button right here, right? Now what this is this is a notification button, like a Facebook notification, but what it tells you when it glows red is that the global code has been updated. So it means somebody's updated it, changed it, and it'll ask if you want to reload it, but for right now it's not working, right? It's not coded yet. This is a settings button, and this isn't coded as well, but when it is, you'll be able to click it and you'll be able to change options like the font size or the background color, the color of this bar back here, etc., right? But they're not ready yet, but they'll be ready soon. Click our scope button, our section selector right here, and we coded the code simulator. Now you'll see that we have this private and global button again. What this is saying is if it's on private and you click play, it's going to get the private code simulator page and it's going to put it on top and it's going to run the code that's over here. If you click global and you press play, it grabs the global code simulator, puts it on top of the private one, and plays it. Now the difference between the run button and the reload button is that reload will destroy all the information on both of the pages and then paste back in the code for the whatever scope you're in the simulator. So you click reload and it destroys both this and the global code simulator, all the information inside it, and then loads back in the private simulator. So what would be the difference between these two? So the reload would be like if you have a game you're working on, right? And you want to start from the beginning of the game to back at the title screen. You would click the load button to actually show that, to go back to the beginning, reset everything. Whereas the run button grabs the other page and puts it back on top. You don't actually destroy anything. Okay, so, and then we have the I button, which is, all it is information, right? So this will tell you, this will change over time, but this will tell you like what the size of the simulator is, and this is the desktop version, by the way. How to modify your private CSS files, the simulator options, and what the buttons do and all that, and it'll have more information as time goes on about what different things we're using and doing. And that's pretty much it for the functions for now. I'll be adding more as time goes on, and I will update everything as time goes on. I'll make a new video for every single every major update. In the next video, we're going to be talking about the big picture, right? What the whole point of this project, this application is how we can use it to create great things. Okay, so I'll see you guys then.